Hey there, extraordinary treasures. If you've ever had to leave the reconcile page in Jewel only to return and see that all your check marks are gone, you'll know why this is a video all its own. That can be so frustrating. But it doesn't have to be that way if you learn a few simple rules. Navigating Jewel in general and navigating the reconcile page in particular is like learning a new town. They're dead-end streets and one-way streets, but once you learn the layout, you can easily find your way around. Since there are multiple ways to get where you want to go, hopefully this map will help you learn some shortcuts, maybe even some scenic routes. The number one most important tip is, when leaving an unfinished reconciliation for any reason, click Cancel. I know it seems counterintuitive, but just do it. If you click the green OK just beside it, you will lose all your check marks. Click Cancel, and Jewel will give you a chance to say yes to save your work, and it will all be there when you return. Number two, when you've successfully reconciled and your difference is 0, that is when you use the big green OK check mark in the upper right corner. No, don't click on Print. When you click OK, Jewel will give you a chance to print your report. In fact, one of the most common bank errors is checking on Print instead of OK when the difference is 0. Most treasurers do it at least once. When you click on Print, Jewel closes the bank rec but doesn't actually finish it. And when you come back the next month, you find that the check marks are gone but the boxes are still there, and it's as if you never even reconciled that month. It would be like mixing up a cake but not putting it in the oven. In order to have a real cake, baking it is as important as measuring and mixing. So when your difference is 0, make sure you click on OK first, and then say yes when Jewel asks if you want to print. Number 3, the More Checks and More Deposits buttons are useful for churches that have longer lists of deposits and checks to reconcile. It gives you a bigger screen to work with. You should remember, though, that when you're ready to leave that screen and return back to the main reconcile page, you must click OK in order to save your check marks. Because if you click Cancel on that page, you'll lose them all. Just try to remember, red flower screen, click OK to save. Rainbow screen, click Cancel to save. The Add Entry box down in the bottom right creates General Journal entries. There's a video just for the New Entry button, so you can learn when to and when not to use it. But the most useful tip I can give you here is that the New Entry box has choices like these 2 little round buttons and these 2 boxes. If you ever make an entry and then discover that you used the wrong button or the wrong box, don't make another entry. It's easy to fix the one you just made. Here's how. Click on the General Journal Entry button above the photo. This takes you to the General Journal Entry screen, where you can click the previous arrow to find your most recent entry. Click on Edit Entry, then you can make changes. You can change the round button from deposit to check if that's what you need, or move the amount of the adjustment from income to expense, or vice versa. Just make sure you do it in both places. To save and leave, click OK, which brings you directly back to the Reconcile page with a minimum of fuss and bother. The Previous Bank Rec button takes you to the list of, well, previous bank recs, and you can use the date box if you need a different one. If you need details from a check or a deposit in the previous month, the entries are clickable, which is really handy sometimes. Find the check you're interested in, click on it, and it will take you to the actual check. The Check Report button takes you to the check report for the current month. This button is useful if you're editing a check from the current month. The Deposit Report button is useful for editing a deposit in the current month that is just a bit different than the bank statement. Clicking on it takes you to the Deposit Report. There's a video for editing checks and deposits using these buttons, which will give you more detail. That's it for the Bank Rec page. I hope this little tour has helped you to feel more comfortable moving around while you're doing a bank rec. It's finally time to actually go step by step through a simple bank rec, and this is what we're ready for next.